The cameras had barely begun rolling when the studio lights beamed down on Bill Maher's sharp eyes, the kind that could cut through silence like a blade. The audience was buzzing, waiting for one of those unpredictable moments that live TV sometimes delivered, moments that would go viral before the night was over. Bill leaned forward in his chair, a sly grin creeping onto his face, and opened with a line that instantly set the room ablaze. "You know what's funny about Hollywood's new morality? It has nothing to do with morality at all." The crowd erupted in laughter, but beneath the humor was a tension everyone could feel. Tonight wasn't just another comedy show, it was a showdown between comedy, truth, and the increasingly fragile world of celebrity wokeness. Bill Maher, the veteran satirist who had built his career on saying the unsayable, wasn't going to hold back. Sitting across from him were two high-profile actors, known not so much for their work but for their relentless preaching online. They had come onto the show expecting an easy ride, maybe even applause for their carefully curated virtue. Instead, they found themselves face to face with someone who saw right through the polished masks. Bill let them talk at first, giving them just enough rope. They spoke about being the voices of the people, about cancel culture being a necessary tool, about how comedians should know their limits. The studio crowd grew restless, some clapped, others stayed silent, sensing a storm brewing. Then Bill struck. With the precision of a surgeon and the mischief of a stand-up comic, he began dismantling their arguments one by one. "You say comedians should know their limits," he said, leaning closer. "But isn't the point of comedy to cross limits? To push boundaries? If comedians played it safe, we'd all still be laughing at knock-knock jokes." The audience roared. The celebrities shifted uncomfortably, but it wasn't just about laughs. Bill spoke with the weight of years in the industry, recalling moments when comedians, writers, and artists had risked their careers to say things that mattered. He reminded everyone that progress wasn't made by silencing voices but by allowing them to clash, to challenge, to provoke thought. "If you only allow the voices you like," Bill declared, "you're not building a better world, you're building a padded room." The tension snapped. Even those who had initially sided with the celebrities couldn't ignore the truth in his words. The actors tried to push back, but every time they did, Bill answered with humor so sharp and logic so clear that the audience couldn't help but laugh and clap. Slowly, the guests realized they weren't just losing an argument, they were being exposed, live, in front of millions. What made the moment powerful wasn't that Bill humiliated his guests, it was that he reminded everyone watching that honesty and courage are still more compelling than performance and pretense. One audience member, a young college student, later said she walked into the studio that night feeling torn between speaking her mind and staying silent out of fear. She left feeling freer, realizing that laughter could be a shield and a sword against conformity. By the end of the segment, Bill Maher wasn't just a comedian destroying woke celebrities. He was a mirror reflecting back society's contradictions, reminding people that strength doesn't come from silencing others but from listening, debating, and, most importantly, laughing at ourselves. The show cut to commercial with the audience still on its feet, cheering, buzzing with the kind of energy that lives long after the cameras stop rolling. That clip would dominate the internet within hours, spreading across platforms, igniting conversations in classrooms, offices, and dinner tables. Some hailed Bill as a truth teller, others criticized him for being too harsh, but nobody could deny the impact. In the end, the moment became bigger than comedy, bigger than celebrities, it became a lesson. And the lesson was simple: the world doesn't change when people hide behind slogans and outrage. It changes when voices, even uncomfortable ones, are allowed to be heard. It changes when humor, honesty, and courage come together on a stage, showing us that laughter is still the most powerful weapon we have against fear.